Hi there, the Karmic Balance team here again. We've been talking about fish oil, and one of the things we wanted to talk about in this series was inflammation, because inflammatory diseases are so prevalent nowadays that we thought that this was something that we really need to talk about, because we just get so many questions as to what you should take and why these diseases are actually surfacing so badly. So guys, why do we see so many inflammatory diseases, and what can fish oil do for it?
I think a big reason for a lot of the inflammation is related to our diet and lifestyle choices. A lot of toxins are around in the environment, and we're taking in a lot more toxins than we used to, and a lot of things that we are doing as a society do cause inflammation. Smoking, eating a high sugar diet, and not exercising, not relaxing, finding stress reducing activities and things like that.
So not only the foods we eat, it's the environment and things around us as well that we're breathing in on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's one reason why fish oil is so critical to take and maintain good levels in your system, to decrease all those inflammatory factors, all those toxins that our body is constantly bombarding with. And what kind of results or what kind of problems can you see with someone who has too much inflammation, and how can fish oil help that?
Right, I think it's important to understand how many different diseases and problems can be caused by inflammation. There's heart attacks and strokes, there's autoimmune disorders. Rheumatoid arthritis, for example, is an inflammatory condition, and breast cancer, metabolic syndrome and diabetes, insulin resistance, and brain disorders, memory loss, depression, attention deficit disorder. And there's great studies to show that taking omega-3 fatty acids, like in fish oil, will reduce the inflammation and help reverse or treat the disorders.
Yeah, it also helps with psoriasis, doesn't it?
It can, yes, absolutely.
So you guys are saying fish oil is almost like a magic pill. Like if you're not feeling well and you're tired and you're run down, you have no energy, it could be because you're not taking enough fish oil.
Well, that's a good question. And I do get that question, well, how do you know if you're deficient? That's a good question. And I would say that you know if you're deficient if you have any one of the disorders that we just mentioned, for sure. And then there's also some symptoms that you might experience. If you're not getting enough omega-3 fatty acids, you might find that your hair is dry, or that your skin is dry. You might have frequent urination or excessive thirst. And you might have joint and body pains. Yeah.
One thing I hear from my patients when I talk about fish oil inflammation is frequently they say, Dr. Josh, I don't really like fish oil. When I take it, it gives me this horrible fishy tasting burp.
Right.
And then supplements I've taken in the past, I'd say half an hour or so afterwards, I'm like, ugh, fishy burp.
Right. So
is there some kind of way to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, I think that's what's really interesting, is that they've now come up with some much better fish oil products, like our Karmic Balance supplement.
That's right.
In fact, a really good product that's lemon flavored and doesn't really give you any fishy aftertaste.
Never repeats on me.
Yeah.
And how many milligrams per day would you think is the right amount to take?
Well, it depends on the person, and there's a lot of international experts that make recommendations. 500 milligrams would be how much you would take just to keep yourself from becoming deficient, but if you want to be more proactive, really over 1,000 milligrams, and our product has 1,500 milligrams, which is a great amount. If you have some of these inflammatory conditions that we were talking about, like diabetes or heart attacks, cardiovascular disease, or memory loss, then you might want to be a little bit more proactive and go with 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams. Now,
I need to be the devil's advocate, and I need to know, when we talk about inflammation, are we talking about stemming the cause of the inflammation, or the inflammation itself by using the fish oil?
Well,
I think that what happens when we have inflammation, like let's say we have clogged arteries in our heart, and there's a lot of different cells in there. We eat a lot of cholesterol and red meat, and the artery is hardening, and those inflammatory factors are circulating around. What the fish oil does is that it decreases those inflammatory factors at the level of where the problem is. So it kind of like relaxes the artery, the cells that are causing the inflammation are down-regulated. So a lot of that down-regulation of inflammation is really how the fish oil works.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's actually starting right from the core of the problem, which in turn sort of alleviates the problem.
Right.
Right, because it's not so much the, like, for example, let's say you're a smoker and all the toxins of the smoke are obviously bad for you, but it's how your body reacts to those toxins. So the cells are attacking those toxins. Those cells produce a lot of inflammatory factors. So what the fish oil does is it decreases some of those inflammatory factors that the cells are producing.
Perfect.
I
See,
think that's a really good way to describe it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's why we wanted to make this video, guys, because we so often get these questions, but I hate to say it this way, but so often, you know, sort of people glaze over the surface and they don't get to the heart of it. And the heart of it is, why are we getting inflamed and how are we going to stop it? So we hope this video was able to at least answer some of those questions for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.